like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback.
You got wrestlers in there that know what they're doing. If you get some big little stocky burly motherfucker that just go right in there and tackle you.
But Tyson was the type of dude, like when he got them things swinging, he was hitting whatever he was swinging at.
You would have to stop him from going to the ground.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, man.
If he can.
Did the box ever get in the ring yet? In the octagon yet?
I don't know.
Like a
real boxer.
Yeah, real.
I don't think anybody worth like notoriety, worth naming, or anybody. I know a couple NFL players got in there and got their blocks knocked off. And
I bet.
My man that used to play for the Panthers, that got in a lot of heat, and then he played for the Cowboys. What's his name? I don't even want to speculate on what he did. He wild boy, but he's in the MMA right now.
Okay.
He's doing some damage, so that remains to be seen. But I don't think anybody boxing has ever stepped into the octagon.
Okay.
And I wouldn't do vice versa. It's two totally different sports.
Yeah.
But I think boxing still in my heart, number one. We need another fight night, man. I love MMA and Xbox and all that shit, but we need another fight night, man.
Definitely.
Nothing like them boxing games.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman. We going in on this Monday, May the 20th. Everybody that's listening on YouTube, y'all already know what to do. If you rock out with us, go ahead and share this video and tap the like button right there on your screen. Well, R. Kelly, Sandman, is back in the news. Now, according to several media outlets, right here, including The Blast, R. Kelly is close to wrapping up. The case is close to wrapping up, and they're saying that the singer will be battling dual indictments in both New York and Illinois. Now, sources familiar with the investigation tell Blast officials they have been interviewing witnesses, and testimony will be presented in front of the grand juries in both the Southern District of New York and the Northern District of Illinois. Now, one source directly involved with the investigation tells them that they expect everything to be wrapped up once again within the next few weeks. And they're saying that the charges that are going to be coming down mainly on R. Kelly are sex trafficking and tax evasion charges. So, man, not looking good. Obviously, we know right now that R. Kelly is out on bail facing a case. It looks like more cases now to be added to this. Sandman, what are your thoughts on this new story coming up by way of The Blast, saying that new indictments, one in New York and one in Illinois, that R. Kelly's going to have to be dealing with federal indictments?
It looks like it's once again getting serious for R. Kelly. Now, the last time we spoke on this situation, we talked about Michael Avenatti, and we were saying all the nonsense he was going through with Nike and being exposed. And we were talking on, okay, now what does this do for the R. Kelly case? Because a lot of the documents and a lot of the evidence that he may have been providing may be false, may not be credible because of the person providing the evidence. He may have an actual chance if we're talking on tapes and DNA evidence provided by this man. And then time went by and we heard the child support stuff and this and that. And nothing, I mean, that is what it is. But it seemed like the feds were still behind the scenes doing what they're doing. And now they've picked it up. And I don't think that they're going to be hit with fraud anytime soon. So now that they got that ass, it seems like it doesn't look good for R. Kelly, whether you think he did it or not. And let me just say this. We've done all the content, all the news when it comes to R. Kelly the last year and a half, ever since the whole sex cult thing came out and into what we're at now. And we get a lot of slack. Oh, well, y'all say this about R. Kelly, but do this, but do that. But listen, we got to report the news. We got to keep it a 360 degree. We're going to beg and answer every questions, even though personally we may believe what we got to believe. And right now, as it stands, it does not look good for him when you got the feds on you, when you got them piling up a amount of evidence. And we even talked about tax evasion and how we personally feel about that. It's kind of bullshit when you ask me. But I mean, it is what it is, man.
They, pretty much they're putting together a case where they're going to force him to pretty much try to crack. They want you to crack. They pressure bust pipes. That's the whole thing. They try to add up on you. Whatever this guy done, let's add it up. Now, the main thing that's sticking out is the sex trafficking. They're looking into plane tickets. They have witnesses now that are speaking. Man. But that was a report that came out a few weeks ago. They said that somebody was pretty much giving testimony to the grand jury, and now it looks like within the next few weeks that there's going to be more charges. Was probably going to mean it's going to be another. I don't know how that works, but maybe another arrest warrant issued. We have to go back in and be re-released, and it's just going to be, it's a sad situation. Sad for the alleged, if there were victims, because let's be honest and let's be real, it looks like that he's guilty as hell. But until it goes through, once they put him on trial and see what happens, then we can say, okay, R. Kelly's guilty. Then we get to hear the details about what really happened. Not a documentary on Lifetime. Not to say that it wasn't true, but it's just a documentary. You know what I mean? A docuseries, whatever it was called. There's somebody else's thoughts and opinions on it. But once they bring the evidence out and roll it out in front of the people, and we say, well, whoa, this dude was this, and videotapes and this and that and DNA, and it's like, whoa, this dude's guilty. Now we can condemn him and say, okay. But right now, we have to just wait and see. But yeah, it's definitely not looking good. I definitely didn't expect this, like you said, with the Michael Avenatti situation. It was a lot of people calling for R. Kelly to walk clean. It was like, yo, R. Kelly's going to win this. I guarantee it. Now it's looking like, okay, the Fed is like, shit, we got so much more on this dude. We're going to be releasing it within the next few weeks. It's not going to end good for R. Kelly in my book. I think he's going to end up doing some time in prison, and maybe he should if he indeed did what they're saying that he did.
I mean, well, if the courts do prove that he did do what everyone's thinking and suspecting that he did, it is what it is. And if he didn't, then his name needs to be clear, and a lot of people need to apologize. Now, I know that I can speak for myself. I personally believe that a lot of these crimes, although some I may believe are fabricated, some are true. And it only takes one to be true for him to be guilty. And when you look at documents even back when Aaliyah, that in itself was wrong enough to me. Whether he deserves to do jail time 25 years after the fact is up for debate. I know he's wrong for that, right? It just, man, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. So
We'll see what
that's that
happens.
with R. Kelly. New indictments coming down real soon. That one of a few trials that will be coming up in the next year and a half. It's gonna be an interesting year in the hip hop world in the next year and a half, man. Definitely.
Indeed. When speaking of rappers and entertainers involving real legal situations, Kodak Black, man. Now we've been talking about Kodak Black the last couple of weeks, and it seems as though we've been talking about him for everything. Whether he's saying something or he's in legal trouble, he's getting hit by the feds. I mean, it never ends. Well, according to TMZ today, they come out and say that legal documents reveal that Kodak Black's fingerprints were discovered in a Porsche Panorama he allegedly rented. Now, the documents also show that Kodak Black dropped $3,518.71 for a mini Draco pistol, SIG MXK 9mm pistol, and the SIG P238 380 pistol. The prosecutors allege that Kodak purchased 3 weapons and over 100 rounds of ammo back in February from Louis Police Distributors, which is the same place where Kodak allegedly bought guns after filing paperwork with false information ordered to obtain a firearm. Now, the purchase was reportedly set up soon after Kodak turned in the gun application this past January. Now, during the police investigation of the crime scene in Pomano Beach in March, police found the Porsche abandoned and severely damaged about 14 miles from the crime scene. Then they obtained the vehicle's GPS data and pinpointed the car in Golden Acres at the time of the shooting. Kodak's criminal attorney, Bradford Cohen, says the prosecutors admitted that the gun found at the scene of the crime had not been used. He also said that witnesses from the site of the shooting told him that they hadn't seen the rapper at the scene of the shooting. These allegations against Kodak marked the second recent legal trouble since Tide. He was arrested before Rolling Loud set, we all know, on May 11th. On top of all the other shit.
Yeah, looked like they got him.
Goodness gracious, oh God. What do you think about this? Now, obviously, this was a shooting that happened down in Florida. They didn't know what happened. They found the car. And
Yeah. I mean, again, like you said, all the stuff all the stuff being very serious, the sexual assault thing he has going on. This case now, they're saying there's prints all over the place. They match the GPS, the car, the Porsche, all the records is there, man. It's just like paper trail, you know what I mean? So it's just like a downward spiral for the young gentleman. And it was crazy because I had my title on the other day. It popped up on a Kodak song. I forget the name of the song. Man, what's the name of that song? It'll come to me in a minute. And I was listening to it. It was pretty dope. You know what I mean? It was pretty decent. And it's just sad to see, this young man, that has a lot of potential, I have to admit, go with a downward spiral, right? It looks like probably now with the him trying to get into Canada with the guns, the sexual assault case, and now this case that he's going to be spending, his immediate future behind bars. It just looks like that. Now, maybe he may work something out where he may be able to finagle where he gets some type of probation, which I doubt. Kodak Black is going to have to probably sit for a while because of bad decisions, continuously making bad decisions and worse decisions. And now it's going to cost him a lot of money and his freedom.
The silver lining in all of this, because there is some, even though it may seem like he's at rock bottom right now, this kid is 21 years old. Yes, I call him a kid. I take a lot of flack for that, but I'm not coming off of that. And I mean, let's say he does a dime. He'll come out when he's 31 years old. Although he have missed a lot of time, a lot of money, and missed out on a lot of opportunity, at least he would have gotten a schooling that now he brought on himself and can move him forward in life. I often talk about him, NBA Youngboy, and a lot of these other young up-and-coming rappers. I can guarantee you they have no proper guidance.
Right.
I guarantee you their father figure wasn't properly there. I don't know how their mothers were, maybe working as hard as they could to provide, maybe not being there. I don't know. But I know somewhere along the line, somebody didn't wrap their arm around these young brothers and go, yo, this is how you move, or this ain't how you move. You got talented people, you got rappers that, or you got people on above in certain of these corporations that go and blood suck and look at certain talents and go and exploit them, give them the jewels, give them this, but don't properly teach them how to be a man and deal with these blessings that they're receiving. Throw them in this age of social media, and now they're being fucking ridiculed and they're looked at and judged on it. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster.
Do you think, though, because, you know, what you're saying, you know, him a kid and whatnot, and him young boy is 19, he's 21, is the inner responsibility on Kodak Black's shoulder for continuously doing foolish thing? And
that's why I'm cool, and I don't condone jail time on anybody, but when you look at just over and over and over again, a lesson needs to be learned, because you're either going to die or you're going to do life in there. And right now, the silver lining in this is at least you're not sitting in a situation where you could potentially lose your entire life behind bars. Hopefully you get away with a situation where if you do have to do some time, you sit down and you can get out. Let's say you had to do 10 years, you're 21, 22 years old, you get out at 32. Life goes on at 32 years old. You still have plenty of life to be able to live, to be able to tell. You could still make money. You could still flourish out here in a society where independent money making is like no other. It's like a fucking a desert fire out there in the West making money. So it's not over for somebody like him, especially somebody that is respected in the game out here amongst his peers, somebody that's looked at to where if he came out, he could potentially still have a music career, unlike some other rappers that we talk about in jail in situations right now. The world wouldn't end for him. Maybe he needs this in order to sit down, because you wouldn't want the worst to happen. Like I said, him dying or him in a potential situation where he doesn't have an opportunity to get out and have a second chance.
Yeah. So, you know, again, man, you know, even though we had a lot of harsh, not even harsh, you know, just, you know, always fair and down the middle, you know, commentary and criticism of some of Kodak Black's behaviors, we ultimately want the best. He's a young Black entrepreneur that came out of a, you know, substandard condition to make himself a millionaire. I think that's a beautiful story, but I just think a lot of these guys just have to, you know, because you're in a privileged position where you got millions of dollars coming in. You got to make better decisions, because you're in a position now where you can set, you know, generations up, you know what I mean? Your kids, and really build some real wealth. But if you want to just take that and pay into the prison system, paying for the lawyers, paying for books, you know, paying for phone calls, you could do that as well. And the prison would be happy to make more money off another Black millionaire. They're making it off of poor people all the time. So it's just like smarter decision. Hopefully, you know, these guys can get, you know, some people in their crew. That's why you got to shout out people like Eminem. He had Cortez Bryant all the time, childhood friend, which I think is turned into his manager. A lot of guys, you know what I mean, got people along their walk, maybe not right away, that said, okay, look, man, I'm going to put you under my wing. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you how to do this and this and this like this. So, you know, hopefully Kodak can get somebody like that. I think he had a situation with Master P. Master P tried to kind of put him under his wing, and that kind of went sour. We talked about that about a year or so ago. So, wish the best for Kodak, man, but it's looking bad for him right now. Yeah,
lessons have to be learned, man. You get up, hit rock bottom, you work your way out, and you have time to, you know what I mean, rejuvenate yourself, man. So all is what it is, man, the silver linings and everything. Salute to Kodak Black and all your situations you may be going through. And that is what it is. Like God said, God, I wanted to talk about real quick,
yes, sir,
just to transition real quick to my man, DJ Khaled. Now, we talked about him last week. The album coming out, Father of Assad. The shit's dope. I've had proper time to really listen to it. I love it. I think it's a great body of work. I think it's as advertised, like everyone was talking about. I think it's his best body of work, because I was critical of some of his older body of works. I didn't understand what was going on. And not to say that he's not great, because he gets nothing but respect out here. It's just something that I wasn't connecting with. I fuck with Khaled. I fuck with Khaled, and I like this, man. Well, Punch, if you don't know who Punch is, TDE, President out there on the West Coast with Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, and then brothers out there. This is what he said on Twitter in regards to one of Khaled's songs. I told Khaled that the hip hop purist is upset at him for sampling Outkast. He said, when you got Outkast blessing, that's the purist. Then he said, we the purist. As you guys could see there, and he started laughing. Now, if you don't know, because I don't know if you really listened to the album yet, there was a song on there with SZA, real dope song, and it sampled Sorry Miss Jackson.
Right.
Samples dope, beats dope, everything about it is hot. But we see nowadays that a lot of your purists, they have an issue. Okay, I got that. They got an issue with people sampling their music. What do you think about that?
I don't have a problem with it, man. Like we talked about it briefly in the pre-production. I think, like Khaled said, as long as you have their blessing, to do it, it just didn't pop out one day and you heard it. You got that and they said, oh yeah, go ahead, man. Because like you said, man, somebody's just being inspired, by something you did should be a good thing. But everybody sees things differently. And some fans think that you shouldn't alter or add on to anything that's a classic, like the song is that was sampled, you know what I mean? So I can understand that side of it, but ultimately it's going to come down to who owns the rights to that song. They can do whatever the hell they want with that. But I think that, I would like to hear, sometime, maybe if I read more of the article, what the people who have a gripe about it, what's their issue really with the fact that they're sampling in music. I don't get it.
Well, you see like somebody, for example, like a Marvin Gaye and his estate, Pharrell, and I forgot who Pharrell and Robin Thicke, they did that song and they sampled some of the B section or some of that. They got sued for millions and had to pay up. But because he doesn't play with his music. But as much as I love Marvin Gaye's legacy and everything, I would never want to disrespect Marvin Gaye's legacy or anything like that. How can you just shortcome somebody's creativity? They heard something, a little piece of something, and it inspired them to make something great. As they're paying homage, why not work out something to where at least homage is paid in it doesn't have to go a route of the song being taken away or stripped of money having to be like, I don't like the potential songs and potential greatness being shortcome because of a short sample. Like it's just whack to me. I mean,
right. Yeah. And again, I don't really see the fuss, about it, but we'll see how the whole thing ends up. I gotta go listen to his album now. It's on Tidal, obviously. For a fact. How many tracks is on there? About
12 or 13.
That's dope. I think I'll listen to it on the way out of here today and just give it, a listen. And I gotta say, man, Khaled's always kind of been a great producer. If you really think about it. I just didn't know. I was like, well, he's doing all them shits with him. Like he's like, yeah, like all right, yeah, Khaled rock. It goes hard, man. Definitely.
Indeed.
So yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast. But before we get out of here, though, man, I want to I don't know if you have that list in front of you.
I do.
The Hollywood Reporter put out a list of top comedians, and number one, y'all can see right there is Kevin Hart. Number 2 is going to be Ricky Gervais. I hope I'm saying that right. Jarvis, excuse me. Colleen Ballinger. Number 4 is going to be Desi Banks. Number 5, Tommy Chung. Number 6, Michael Blackson. Number 7, D.L. Hughley. Number 8, Trevor Noah. Number 9, Joe Rogan. Number 10, Bill Maher. Right there. So those are the top 10. Sam, man, I know you. This is your top. You love the comedy and whatnot. What do you think about this list right here that came out from the Hollywood Reporter, the top 10 comedians?
It's very whitewashed.
Man.
And I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. And I'm not taking anything away from any of these comedians. I think that Michael Blackson is hilarious. I think that Bill Maher is funny. Joe Rogan's funny. I've never seen any of Trevor Noah stand-up. I see him on TV making people laugh, a little Instagram clips, but I've never seen him do any work on stand-up. So as far as the best comedian, I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to school me on that. Obviously they got Kevin Hart there first. I don't know if this has something to do with top money or best stand-up.
They had to put him up there.
But they had to put him, and that's it sucks because it makes it seem like we hate on Kevin Hart, and we don't. I love everything that Kevin Hart's doing. I'm proud of what he's doing. I watched him from the beginning since he was Kev the Bastard, and he rose and done what he's doing now with his own media company, everything like that. It's inspirational. But to say that he's at the top of the comedian game with as far as making you laugh and real raw shit, I can guarantee you, oh God, maybe 1 or 2 comedians on here is genuinely making you laugh. This is whitewashed. Making you laugh.
Right.
It's
Probably.
a different style of comedy.
Right.
Like a lot of these comedians couldn't go into one of them just chitlin circuits or just a hot ass box with 30, 40 people forcing you to laugh or you're getting booed the fuck out of there and come out alive.
Who should be on this list, Sandman, that's not, in your opinion, this, you know, I know you got a hell of a list. You know what I mean? If you were just to throw people in here, you know, Cat should be up there. I think,
yeah,
you know, I mean, obviously you say TK, who you think? Other guy? Throw some names in there. You think?
Mike Epps should be in there right
Chris
now.
Rock, like, man.
Even, I mean, and this is what I'm saying. This is very whitewashed. Where's Chappelle at? I mean, that's just like, who did this? And then we ain't even gonna go into the old school of it. I still think that.
And Michael Blackson posted this.
Crawford.
This, you know. Yeah. So yeah, it was. Like,
I mean, people obviously they take it seriously,
right?
But I don't, man. I don't even know what to say about this. I would love to get a comedian on here like TK to come on and talk about it, or even DL because he's on here. But a lot of people, it's interesting. They always seem to have a political push around voting season. Each and every one of them.
Yeah.
Each and every one of them. You got all of them either saying go out to vote. Maybe not Michael Blackson's ass, but
right.
DL Hughley got a show on CNN. Trevor Noah, Joe Rogan got a podcast. Bill Maher, HBO. Kevin Hart obviously has everything he got going on. Ricky Gervais has something. I'm not sure about Colleen Barringer.
Are we hating on Kevin Hart though? Like, because like the first thing we said was like I said we had to put him on there, and you said we don't want to come off like we're hating on Kevin Hart. And here's what I'll say. I'll give my opinion on what I think of Kevin. I think when you talk about work ethic, business mind, net worth, and all that, Kevin Hart's the fucking man. He's nobody can fuck with him in that regard. But when it comes to the being funny, the funniest, I don't think that he's the funniest comedian to be the number. I mean, if it's not just about fun, maybe it's about other things, like you say, net worth and how much Netflix specials you got, whatever. But when it comes down to who's just going to make you laugh and just, you know, continue to make you laugh and it's just raw, I don't think that Kevin's number one. And on my list, maybe it could be different for you.
Man, look, I gave Kevin Hart an honest chance to make me laugh each and every time he comes out with a special. I give him the chance. I'm going to watch it. The last comedy show that he's had, the last few, but I'll talk about the last one that everyone's railing about and everything that you retweet and all that. I didn't laugh once. I thought it was very whitewashed. I thought it was very watered down. I thought it was corny, to be honest with you. And it disappointed me because I don't walk into a Kevin Hart show wanting not to laugh. I want to laugh. I want to give him good reviews. I want to say that it was great. If I was sitting in his face and was asked a question, I would have to genuinely tell him, as much as I love you, man, I don't think that was funny. I don't. And I don't think anybody real has ever been asked a question. Charlemagne is his man in the Breakfast Club, but man, I don't think that they were ever asked if that special was funny. And anybody out there, is it funny? Because I'm not going to sit here and lie because I'm a fan. Shit didn't make me laugh. Y'all tell me in the comments if it's any different. Y'all tell me the jokes that made y'all die.
Right.
And I'll say I'm sorry.
Man. Woo. Well, yeah, that is what it is, man. The Hollywood Reporter releasing a list of the top 10 comedians, just giving our opinion on that. But you tuned into another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother God and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News. Man, we do appreciate each and every person that's going to listen to this podcast. We got some real big news that's going to be coming up real soon as well, you know what I mean, about something with the podcast. So just make sure that y'all, you know, stay tuned, you know, for that as well as I look through the ticker to see if there's anything that we missed today. We good, man. Looks like we good over here. Yeah, man. Another Monday in the books. Shout out to everyone listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. Like old guy said, we got some major news coming your way. May even, man, extend another episode. May take turn them into a little longer, but all of that'll be exclusive content for the audio version of the podcast. We do appreciate each and every one of y'all that rock with us on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and of course the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. Yeah, doing our thing as always. Man, what a hot motherfucking day, man. And he's sweating. Yeah, about to turn these lights off, man, and watch some playoff games, man. But if you ain't got nothing, I ain't got nothing. Let's get up out of here, brother. We out of here. Peace.
Truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored, quarterback. I got them shits flying like Spike. You're now tuned into the greatest. Motherfucker, you ain't never lie. If them people watching us like YouTube, then tell them motherfuckers like and subscribe. If the blunt stale, I still click a bell.